Good afternoon. One of my favourite passages of scripture that I wanted to share this afternoon is from Romans chapter 12, verses 1 to 2. And it's a wonderful passage because it follows on from the great understandings that we get in the previous chapters about the theology of salvation and the fact that we're sinners and need forgiveness and so on. But here's what Paul finishes up with. And he says, so here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Sometimes we can forget in this world that our story is part of a much bigger story. And sometimes it's easy to take everyday events and just see them as coincidences that are strung together in a random sequence over the period of a day. But I think that the biblical story asks us to consider our world, our everyday life, from a much different perspective. We had an experience with Sophia a few years ago where she'd gone into a shop to buy some clothes, and there was this one jacket that she really loved. And so she said to the shop assistant that she liked it and she wanted to buy it, but she first had to go to the bank to get some more money so she could pay for it. Once she got back to the shop after going to the bank to get the money, the shop assistant said that she didn't have to pay, that it had already been paid for. And Sophia came and told us this story, and she was amazed. And we tried to encourage Sophia to see this gift as a blessing from God. Yes, it was a kind act from someone, we don't know who even to this day, but it was also something that God was involved in, that God blessed Sophia just because he loves her. In Romans chapter 3, verse 23, it says that we've all sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And basically, this verse is saying that we're all in the same boat. We all share the same dilemma. Our lives are broken. Even though we may spend a lot of the time pretending that everything is okay. And often for many people, the biggest fear is that they'll be found out. One description I've heard of how we try to divide our life up is that we have our front stage and our backstage lives. And we live in worlds where very often our front stage life is the one that we give to the world. We give to the world the sense that we're doing okay, that we're coping. We give to the world an image that lays out the best side of ourselves. But then we have our backstage life, and the backstage life is all about the ideas and the values and the faith in our heart and our spirit and our soul. One of the biggest problems in our world is that we often just focus on our front stage life. And we're always on stage. And so we don't tend to look after and consider deeply our ideas and our values, our faith, our heart, our spirit, and our soul, and so on. And so we tend to put up walls. And we tend to focus on the wrong things, on the things that are temporary, rather than the things that are close to God's heart. And so I think this passage from Romans is an encouragement to us to consider our lives, our everyday, humdrum, ordinary lives, and to take a different perspective, to lay that life down to God as a living sacrifice and allow God to bless that life and allow our life to be a blessing to others as well. May God bless you as you take your everyday life and consider how you can lay it down in the coming days. Thank you.